Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Captain of Industry. You're going to notice right off the bat there are a few things different. Primarily, you can see me now. And we are starting a new world, and I will explain that here in just a minute. But to fully understand that, we need to go back a little bit. I was not happy with the progress that my channel was making. I was not happy with the quality of my videos. Was not happy just in general with the way my experience as a content creator was going. I reached out to a pretty successful friend of mine. He does the same thing. We'll leave him unnamed because he doesn't know that I'm making this video or that I'm using information he gave me like this, and I don't want to put him on blast. But basically, I reached out to him and I asked him to watch some of my content and to give me honest feedback, and I know that I can trust what he tells me. And the feedback that I got from him, basically, my videos just kind of sucked. There was no excitement factor. There was no real explaining to you guys why I was doing what I was doing in any of the games that I was playing. Pretty basically, the gist of it was I just don't talk to you guys enough. And that's fine. You know, there's content creators out there that do that, but they have more attention grabbing or exciting or thrilling gameplay, where mine is not like that, at least not in this series. So I have decided to start over because I feel like with the information that I was given, I did not do that playthrough justice. You know, he was explaining to me that in a lot of the video, especially for the Captain of Industry video that I put out, he did not understand why I was doing the things that I was doing or why I was placing certain items where I was placing them. I just, you know, like I said, I feel like it didn't do the playthrough any justice. So we are going to start over. We're going to start fresh, and I'm going to work on trying to be more informative, explain things better. And I'm going to try to carry that through all of the videos, regardless of what game we're playing. Just to try to bring a little bit more light to the games. You know, I've said before, and I'll say it again, you know, the games that I play and the games that I put content out for are not the most popular games on Steam or any of the other game platforms out there, and I do that intentionally. You know, I've had my days playing Rust and DayZ, and, you know, I was a Call of Duty gamer for a while, but everybody does that. You know, there's, in the world of YouTube, those games make up a good portion of it. You know, they're not the most popular by any means, but in order to be able to be successful doing this, you have to enjoy the game you're playing, and the big games like that, everybody does it. I don't enjoy them enough to make that content. So I do these littler games, and that's not to throw shade. I'm not saying they're little games or the dev teams are little or anything like that. They're lesser known games, and I hopefully can bring a little bit of light to them, maybe help them grow. You know, if they get more people playing, then obviously they have more resources to develop updates and stuff like that. So that is the channel direction going forward. By all means, I would love to hear some constructive criticism from you, the viewers. You know, tell me what you want to see, you know, both within the game and without. If there's a different game you want to see, shoot me a comment. Let me know. I'll look into the game, and if it's something we can make happen, then we will. But now that I've talked your guys' ear off for almost 5 minutes, let's get started with this. So this is Captain of Industry. As you can see, you know, we've been through some of this before, but we're going to do it again just for those who haven't been here. This is your kind of your message center. It gives you a whole bunch of information here on all kinds of different stuff. And we can go through that a little bit later. For right now, what you start with is you've got one tree harvester, and then you've got 8 trucks here. And these trucks, they're kind of universal, in the sense that they don't have beds on them. They will kind of become whatever you need them to be. They'll become like a flatbed to haul materials. They will become like a dump truck to haul ores or waste or anything like that. They'll put a fuel tanker on the back of them if they're hauling fuel, or an oil tanker for oil or water or whatever. They're pretty universal. They'll become whatever you need them to be. So we got some stuff along the top here. We'll get into that. This one here is your goals. It's kind of like a tutorial that you can follow along, or a guide as to what you should do next. You don't have to follow that. It does make it easier to progress, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's your gameplay. You play it however you want. This is your message tab. Various different things will happen in the game, like a truck can't get to where it's trying to go, or you're out of this, or something like that. A message will pop up here and let you know. And then they'll accumulate there. They don't automatically clear. You hit this button and it'll clear them, or if you want to pin it, you can do that. This is alerts. So like if you run out of power, or your settlement fills up with trash, or there's not any food or anything like that. That's what that one does. This is a research bar, or a progress bar for the research. As you go through it, it'll kind of fill up. This tells you how many more items you have in your research queue. You've got all of that stuff. This is your power. Tells you obviously your consumption, your demand, your capacity. This is unity. It can be used kind of like a currency. We'll get into that more later. I'll explain it and show you. But this is how much you're generating. Green is good. You're generating. Red is bad. You're consuming. This is your population growth. This same thing. Green is gaining. Red is losing. And this is how many you've recently gained. So this is your food. This shows you how much stored food you have. Now it only shows the amount of stored food in a food supply thing that is connected to the settlement. So if you have food like on conveyor belts, or still in the farm, or in trucks, in transit, or in storage, it doesn't show that. This is your settlement's general health. This is your population and your housing capacity. It tells you how many people are in your settlement and how many you can house. This is how many workers you have. Again, your housing, you have 160 housing capacity, and 70 is free. And this is how many trucks you have. Now the word stable and this icon, actually all of these icons will change colors. So like as these trucks get busier, this will turn yellow, and if they're really busy, then it'll turn red. This is your ship, which is right here. You can't send that out right yet, but you do send it out to other settlements. You can find different things. There's oil rigs out there, and like sulfur mines, coal mines, stuff like that. You get into that later on, and we will get into that later on with the use of like cargo bays or cargo depots or whatever they're called. This shows you the status. It will say like docked like it does now, or on the move, or in battle, or exploring, or whatever the ship is doing currently. You have the date in game. This, I believe, is how many years, or the current year in the game. The weather, and then you can control your time here. Down the side here, it just kind of tells you how much of different things you have. You can pin anything you want to pin or unpin it. Change the scale. And you can look at your stuff a little more in depth in here. Obviously, as we play the game, that'll all populate. Another really cool feature of this game is right here. This is the recipes. And down the side here, more will show up as you unlock things. But it gives you, these machines make whatever you're looking for, like iron scrap. You can make it in these ways. And this is where it's used. So later on down the game, you'll get something like paper. If you wanted to, you could do, I don't think it'll show us. Yeah, it won't. Because we don't have it unlocked yet. But like electronics, you make that in an assembly 1. It takes 1 rubber and 4 copper sheets. and 60 seconds or minutes, game minutes, to make 4 electronics. And then, as you can see, the electronics will be used in various different things throughout the course of the game. Down here, so you can remove debris, you can demolish things that you've built, buildings. You can also hit your delete key. And then right here, this shows your layers. So it brings up your grid, you can kind of build to, but what that also does is show you where your resources are. So like we've got groundwater here. So we've got iron ore, copper ore, coal. Come over this way. We've got limestone and sand, more groundwater, crude oil, and a whole lot more groundwater. Then of course you've got gold here, I think. Yep. Here you've got limestone, more iron, more copper. I believe this is uranium, which is very, very late game. This should be titanium. This is going to be coal, more iron, more oil. That one's sand. This one is quartz. I believe that is it. So anything else that we need, we don't have, which I think bauxite, but I think you make bauxite. If not, we may have to trade for it, and import it in. But, so this is our starting point. That gives us all of this area right here to build our kind of starting area. You want to be kind of close to trees, iron, copper, and coal and oil in the beginning. You need all of those things to get started. You'll need the limestone as well. You don't need sand until later on when you unlock the glass, but you'll see all of that. And then, so as you progress, you unlock new buildings, new recipes, stuff like that. That shows up down here in the bottom. Anything with one of these orange indicators says, basically telling you there's something new. You can clear those if you're like me. Seeing those will drive you nuts. You can clear them. You have to go in here and you have to click on each individual item in the category. And that basically acknowledges, yeah, I've seen it, I know it's there. And so that gets rid of all of those notifications. This tab right here is your world map. So these are the different areas we can explore, but as you find them, as you explore them, more will unlock. I don't know exactly how many there are. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I played the game, short of that last playthrough that turned out miserable. And then when we first started, we had that knowledge screen that was up, and I told you guys we'd get into that more later. You click here, that comes back up. So this tree planting kind of shows you how to do everything. So if you get lost in here, in this game, you go into the Knowledge Center, and it will explain to you basically how to do everything, and it will help prevent you from getting stuck. So that's a really good tool to have. It's really awesome that they put that there. But a lot of the videos that I've seen, people don't utilize it. They don't know that it's there, I guess. But it is. You can go back to it anytime you want just by clicking that or pushing F2. So there's all of that. We are going to try to keep this video at about half hour, 45 minutes, and I am going to upload this one early, just kind of to get it out there. Just because the other one kind of bombed so miserably. And then over here behind me, you can't really see them, but there is that Oh, I guess I went over those already. So here, let me turn myself off for just a moment. Okay, so the buttons that I went over earlier and didn't realize that you guys couldn't see them. This is your demolish button or delete. This is your remove debris button, Control U. And this is the button that shows you your layers or your resources. So I not used to having the camera there or the picture of me on the screen, so it didn't dawn on me that you guys couldn't see them. But that's where they are, that's what they do. Without talking your guys' ear off anymore, let's get started. Oh, navigation's pretty easy. You can right click and drag and you'll move, or you can use WASD. You roll your mouse wheel to zoom in and out, or you click your middle mouse button and rotate to rotate. That's how you navigate through there. Most of you, I'm sure, would have figured that out long before me telling you, but that's how you do it. So, when you start with the 8 trucks in the tree harvester. So you have to assign trucks to the tree harvester, so then they'll follow it around everywhere it goes and go get wood. This thing comes stocked up with some bricks and some iron scrap that the trucks will pull from there as you need it. And then you've got some supplies in the shipyard as well. I don't think you start with anything. Yeah, you don't start with anything on the ship, but it will bring back some supplies from its voyages. Nothing extravagantly great, but it does bring back some stuff. Okay, let's get started. We're going to unpause time. In the beginning, it's probably best to just stay on single time because things can progress really fast and you can get stuck really fast. So the first step is going to be, we've got to tell the tree harvester what trees we want it to cut down. So we're going to come over here, drop down here to the forestry, tree harvesting designation. Get a little saw blade, then you just kind of outline and highlight everything you want it to cut down. Do that, and then we'll come back here. Okay, now it took off and started working. Eventually, it would pop up and say no trucks assigned. Actually, I'll show you that. Let's speed up time. Follow him over here. It's going to get over here to the trees, and then it's going to go, hey, I don't have anywhere to put this wood. Do something about that. Oh, great. It's storming. And you can zoom in pretty far and actually watch. See, there you go. You get an icon on the truck itself, and then you'll get a notification. The tree harvester has no truck assigned. You just click on it, and then you can assign the trucks. I usually do 2 per harvester, just so there's one coming, one going. Then there they go. Pretty simple. I do like to follow this thing, so that's the way I'm going to do this. We're going to build the coal maker, and then in the beginning it's kind of hard to know where to put things. You do have to kind of have some foresight. You don't want to put anything up against your settlement here, and I'll show you why. Because you want to expand it has to connect to one of these, and then it expands out like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here a ways, and we're going to put this coal maker right here. So we'll zoom in so you can see this. You've got where wood comes in, and then coal and exhaust come out. So we're going to put this here. Then we got to give it a smokestack to get rid of the exhaust. And then they bring supplies and they build your building. You give it this smokestack, and now it's got somewhere to send the exhaust. So as soon as you can, I don't have any right now, but as soon as you can, you want to research the storage, because the output here, this will only hold 7.5 coal, it looks like, or maybe 40. Find out here. But see, now they just brought wood over, so now it's running. You don't have to connect power lines or anything to any of this in this mode. You may have to in some of them. Looks like it does hold 40. That's not terrible, but you want to get storage on it because you go through coal pretty quick. So we've got that done. Now it wants us to build a blast furnace and connect it to a metal caster. So that's in the smelting tab. Blast furnace goes here, and then it wants you to connect it to a metal caster. Now I always connect it to 2 because there's 2 outputs. Okay, and the way you connect that is right here. This will be your transport or your conveyor belt or piping, because it's going to be molten metal when it comes out of here, molten iron. I'm going to use a molten channel, connect it there, connect it there, and then we need to give this thing a smokestack for the exhaust gases. So this automatically set its recipe because it only has 1, but in here, oh, I guess I only have 1 unlocked, so. But later on, you'll have to go in and you'll set your recipes. As I only have 1, it automatically sets it. So now this is making iron sheets. Iron sheets are used to make just about everything. Now you'll see up here, this went from a list of goals to I now can collect my reward. Now I need to build a farm so I can feed the people of my settlement. You need to be on fertile land to do that. And you want to do it somewhere where there's groundwater nearby, because later on you will be able to upgrade to irrigated farms, and you want to be able to pump that water out of the ground to irrigate your farms. And then start power production by building a generator. Okay. This you want to build kind of close to here in the beginning, because this is where the diesel will come from for this. Trucks will come over here and they'll gather this diesel, power this generator. And as you can see, the stuff along the top, as we power that up, now we have a power bar. Max capacity is 800 kW. Right now the consumption is 0 and the demand is 0. That will eventually change. Coming up on 25 minutes, so this is going to be a relatively short gameplay video, but the next one will be better. Obviously I won't have to provide an explanation for why we're doing what we're doing. That kind of stuff. We'll just be able to dive right in and get going. So the next step is to build a research lab. Come down here. That's going to be in buildings. Research lab. There's not really any rhyme or reason to it, but I always put that close to the shipyard. Maybe I shouldn't, because later on, later on there will be some upgrades to that building. So it'll have inputs and outputs later on. So we'll put this up here so I've actually got room to expand around it. And see, we got another reward. We got 40 potatoes and some construction parts, I think. Yeah, construction parts. Also, when you have these pinned, you can actually click on them and it'll bring up the statistics on those. We told you that these would generate later on in the game, and they do. We're going to research. Okay, now we can start research, and that's where this comes in up here. So this is the research tree. It's quite large. It takes quite some time to get all the way through it, but we're going to start down here, obviously. Right now, anything that is blue, we can research. Anything that is gray, we've already researched. So we start with some of these. Now you can do them one at a time like this, or you can, let's say I want to research all the way to this one. Click that and all of the prerequisites automatically get highlighted. You can add that to the queue and it'll just work its way through researching all that. We are not going to progress through them that quickly. But I do want to get, like this one right here, the trading dock. That comes with your first little bit of storage. We're going to do that one. And then we're going to research basic concrete. So that'll get us construction, maintenance, vehicles, and mining, and concrete. And then to that, we are also going to add the beacon. The beacon is something that you can build to help increase your population, and you will need that. And then we're going to do all of this as well, right to the blueprints. We will add the diesel too. And we'll just see, now we got 9 things in the queue. That bell goes off, you've finished the research, and it tells you here. So the trading dock is now done. Settlement is full of trash. See, now I need to deal with that. So what I need to do is a waste collection. Build that there. And then I need to tell it where to put that. So we're going to come way over here out of the way. We're going to do terraforming, dumping designation. And then we're just going to, so we'll look here, we can collect this reward. Build an assembly 1. That's going to be in here. Assembly 1. We're going to build this just to get a jump start on it. This is maintenance. So all of your vehicles and machinery will require maintenance parts to keep them in optimal operating condition. If you don't have enough of that, stuff will break down. In this particular playthrough, because of the way I have the settings set, they won't stop working, just the output will be lower. In some of the more advanced settings, and the ones we will get into later, they'll actually stop working. Like your generator will just quit working altogether, or a truck will just break down on the side of the path or trail or road, whatever. Now it wants us to build a trading dock. And that part of that has to be on the ground, part of that has to be in the ocean. So right there, that'll work. See, now here, this little symbol tells you that something is wrong with this building. We are going to produce construction parts with this. Now this one would only hold 6. No, looks like that holds 40 as well. But what I'm going to do, now I have storage. You've got your green input and your red output. The same on the building there. So we're going to line the input on the storage up with the output on the building. Do that by pushing R to rotate and just line one of them up. The green thing means that it's lined up and we can build it there. While we've got a few minutes to wait on some things being built, I want to ask, if you guys are enjoying the content, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. It's free for you guys. It really helps out a small channel like mine. And then if you could hit that like button or the dislike button, that tells me whether or not you like the content that I'm making. And if you could, let me know how the game audio sounds, how my audio sounds. Leave that in a comment down below. All of those things will help my channel to grow, and they're all free for you guys. It does take a little bit of your time, so I do appreciate anybody that does it. I do appreciate the time you've spent watching the video. I know there's literally thousands, if not millions, of other YouTubers out there you could be watching. So I do appreciate you taking the time to stop by my channel. Let's get back at it. I think everything is built now. Oh no, we're still building the trading dock. So building that looks like this is like in progress. The Unity that we talked about can be used like a currency. If you have all of the parts to build it, which I don't, you can click this button right here, and it'll instantly deliver all those parts, so the building will then start building itself. I don't have all of the parts. I'm waiting for the harvester to get them, and then trucks deliver them. Okay, so now my trading dock is done. I can trade with a village. The yellow spots on this map indicate a village, and you can see there's lots of things we could trade for. And the part of the goal is to trade iron for brick, so I'm going to do that just once though. And then for some unity, for 2.5 unity, I could adopt 10 people. Like if I didn't have enough workers, I could do that. We'll collect these rewards. We get 80 bricks and 60 parts, 50 wood, 60 vehicle parts, and 30 parts. That's a good start. We got a problem up here. Oh, it's waiting for water or rain. So that is why we build this where there's groundwater. Because eventually in our research, pull that up. We will get to settlement water and irrigated farms and groundwater pumps. So we can pump that water out of the ground and we can irrigate our farms with it. We can provide water to our settlement, to the people who live there. All of that stuff. So it's a good idea to put your farms where there's water, because I don't have to tear this farm down when I get that upgrade. I'm in here, and next to the pause button, another button will appear here that is the upgrade. So I can upgrade this from a regular farm to an irrigated farm without removing it, which comes in really handy later on when you've built a bunch of infrastructure around that farm and you don't want to tear it down. So there's that. And then in here you've got a lot of different things that you can do. Like this one right here is the general priority. If I want to make sure that this farm runs non-stop, I can set the priority here. 15 being the lowest, 1 being the highest. I tend to leave them where they're at right there for now. We will have to get into adjusting those priorities in a little bit. See, now this won't, it can't store everything that I grew. So what I need to do is build a loose storage, and if you mouse over these, it'll tell you everything that it'll hold. The potatoes goes in the loose storage, and we will build that right there. And I'll hold shift so I can just build another one without having to click on it, and then you can link them right together. I want to be able to store a lot of food for my people. So here come the trucks to build the things. We can dismiss all of these and go back to here. Build another assembly one to produce mechanical parts. So we need to come over here and do that. Assembly one. We'll set this recipe to mechanical parts. So now in here, because this isn't built yet, we've got another one of these priority things. This is for the urgency or the priority in delivering parts to build that building. Now that it's built, that option is gone, but it's there during the construction phase. We selected the recipe. This tells whether or not trucks can import and export goods from that building, how much power it's using, and how many workers it has. This is the status of the building, obviously. And then again, back to that Unity currency, this stuff up here. If I want this to build faster, I can click this button and it uses 0.25 Unity every 60 seconds. But look what it does to the output and the input. You got to remember that. It utilizes more resources, but it produces more. So, got to be careful, because if you run out, you're out. And this Unity builds with time. There's a lot of different factors, and more will show up over time. I think water pollution is one of them, ground pollution is one of them, air pollution is obviously one of them. There's a bunch of them. We'll check back on that later in a later video once more things are unlocked so you can see all that. And I do want to put some storage on this as well. We are going to do the same thing. Let them build that. And then we're going to come down here and do the same thing for these. Now we're going to build up a little bit of a stockpile. Wants me to enable the iron recipe, but I haven't built the mines yet, so I can't really do that. Let's go ahead and do the mines, and then we'll probably call this video for this go around. Right here, this is our iron ore. The first thing we want to do is build a mine control tower. Now you want to keep this back a little bit from where you're actually going to be mining, because if they mine the ground out from underneath it, it'll fall over. And all of the settings that you have set will no longer apply or be followed. We're going to set this back here. And then because this is so much bigger than the garbage area, we do have to edit this area, which is pretty simple to do. Like this, spread it out to about here. Like this. Now that encompasses just about all of the iron area. We also need to build another mine control tower. We're going to build this one right on the edge of the water here. Edit this area. These ones are a little bit tricky to do because of the water. So you kind of got to come out here. And then we're going to go to dumping designation. We're going to stay flat. Down here you'll see the different, you can raise and lower, you can go flat, or you can go up. So what going up does, now that kind of goes up, do that. You left click to place, or you right click to remove. So we're going to go to dumping designation. We're going to keep it flat. We're going to come out here like this. So this, now they can dump everything but garbage here. So all of the like grass and the dirt that they dig up from on top of this iron, that's where they'll dump it. What we need to do is come back over here. We actually need to build a vehicle depot. This is where we produce vehicles. And we need 2 excavators. So this is a good opportunity to show you. See, it's waiting on 30 construction parts to build the first excavator. Well, it just got it. Oh, that was the building. Now it's waiting on these things to build the excavator. And you can wait for the trucks to bring them in, but if the trucks get busy, it can take a little bit. So we need 10 more of this. If we click this, we've automatically got it, and now it'll build that all the way. Once we get those excavators, they'll pop out right here, and then they'll just kind of chill here, or they'll go off and do something. See, now it's coming out. We're going to come back over here to this mine tower. We're going to assign that excavator to this mine, but we're also going to give that excavator 2 trucks. And then we have to see, now it says there's no mining designation, so now we've got to set that. You see how mining tends to go down where dumping goes up or stays flat? we want to mine. So we're going to go down. We're going to start here. We're going to come across. We're going to go 4 deep. And then we're going to go to flat. And we're going to give them a great big flat area to mine. So they'll mine all that out, all basically without any supervision. We don't have ore sorting turned on, so I don't have to have an ore sorting location. But basically these trucks will hold more than one thing at a time. I'm waiting for it to do that. But what they're doing with this dirt, as it comes off the top, they're coming over here and they're dumping it. For some reason they're putting in trash too. But here you go. Okay. Now he's still got some ore left. Iron ore. But he doesn't have anywhere to put it, so he stops next to this. This is where storage comes in. Iron ore goes in loose storage. We're going to give 5 of these guys because we are going to need it. 1, 2, 4. Then we're going to set this first one. We're going to assign this to be iron ore. We don't want them to export from there, but they can import. We're also, well, that comes later. You can set up import and export routes, but that's all later. And now as they keep putting more and more in here, I'm gonna move. See, like this truck has got 8 ore and 12 dirt. You can see it starting to form there. It'll always move to the end one once they're all done. And now it all moved here. So now these guys will mine and mine and mine until this is full. They will also deliver not just to here, but to any machine that needs it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to complete this goal. This one right here. We're going to set the recipe. We're going to turn that one off and turn this one on. So now this recipe produces slag. We need to take another loose storage and we need to put it right here. I mean, you don't need to put it right there, but that's where I put it. This is going to be slag, and we want the trucks to keep this full, because if this is full, this is empty. If this fills up, production stops. We don't want that. Then they'll also take the slag from here and they'll dump it over here. Looks like they just dumped a load of garbage before I got the rules set up, so I think we're okay. But then they'll fill this up, and then as the production machines or buildings need it, like that guy right there. He just came and grabbed a load. Where's he headed? You can click on a truck when they're driving, if you can catch them, and it'll show you where they're going. See, so that one is going back to grab another load. The next goal is to build 2 more pickups, so we will do that. 1, 2. We're actually going to build 6. We have another excavator here, so we are going to assign it to here and give it 2 more trucks. And it'll come bebopping around now. Until you get a fuel station and fuel trucks, every time one of these vehicles need fuel, they have to go back to usually right here. And they collect some of this fuel like this one's doing right now, just fueled up. That's the tree harvester. So it was up there working, needed fuel, came on back. Later on in the game, you'll get a fuel station that you can pipe fuel to, and you can assign it trucks. So then, like that tree harvester will run out of fuel, and it'll just basically haul to a fuel truck. We'll then bring it fuel and fill it up. We're getting some stuff. In the next video, we'll be able to expand quite a bit on what we're doing. We're going to collect this reward. And then that's gonna be really about it for this video. So I know we didn't get as far as we did in the last video, but I wanted to try and be as informative as I could. I hope this video is better received. I hope I was informative enough to kind of help some people get started playing the game, or at least interested in the game. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. And again, if you guys could help me out, hit that subscribe button, the thumbs up, thumbs down. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. Let me know how the audio sounds, how the video looks, what you think of any of the editing, any of that. Any of the helpful criticism would be much appreciated. I think the first lesson that I've learned is I need to mute Discord while I'm recording. So I will make sure that gets done on the next one. Thanks again, guys, and we will see you guys in the next episode.